Verse 89. There is nothing that is to be born, nor is there anything that has been born. Even causation is not. It is because of worldly usage that things are talked of as existing. Seems to be a small error, a small typing error here. It actually says here, it is because of worldly usage that things are talked of as existing. I think it's probably supposed to be worldly usage. This follows on from the previous two verses, which were concerned with Maya, delusion. This Maya is actually an aspect of consciousness. Consciousness is what is real. And because of the absolute reality of consciousness, it gives that reality to whatever arises within it. This is Maya. It's the same mechanism which happens in dreams. The dream is our own awareness, our own imagination. It's our own consciousness, and we give reality to the dream. And we find ourselves wandering around inside this dream. It's an extraordinary thing. This is the power of consciousness. It's the power of Maya. This world presents itself to us. It arises within our very own awareness, and we give it reality. We actually assume it's been there longer than we have. That's the same assumption that we make in a dream, isn't it? You might find yourself in the desert in your dream. The unquestioned assumption is that that desert has always been there, and you're wandering around in it. This is how consciousness works. This is how that aspect of consciousness called Maya works. And all this is reinforced by convention, by worldly or wordly usage. Nobody questions this assumption that the world has always been there. We have our scientists to tell us exactly how long it's been there. I certainly don't want to side with the creationists, but they have a point when they ignore all that evidence and tell us that the world has been around for 10,000 years. Well, I would take it further. Never mind the evidence which points to 3 billion years or 10,000 years. I would say the world comes into existence right now. The Big Bang is happening right now. And then we create our stories and say that it came into being so many years ago. I think there's a well-known illustration about if you put the whole history of the world or the whole history of the universe along a flagpole, then our lives would be the little bit of paint on top of the flagpole. That's how we like to diminish ourselves. That's how we diminish our sense of being. We created the whole flagpole. So verse 89 is saying there is nothing that is to be born, nor is there anything that has been born. In other words, there is nothing that comes into existence. There is nothing that has come into existence. Even causation is not. There is nothing that has caused something to come into existence. This way of talking is all a convention. It's a convention which is okay in its own particular level, but spiritually we have to realize it is no more than a convention. The mechanism that is operating now is exactly the same one that operates in our dreams. It is awareness, it is consciousness that is giving reality to everything that arises within it. Verse 90 tells us, it is not to keep off the idea of birth and disappearance which takes place in causation. It is to keep off the wrong imagination as to causation, which is cherished by the ignorant. In other words, we can still talk in terms of birth and disappearance, birth and death and causation, but we mustn't mistake that for reality. So if somebody's talking in terms of evolution or whatever, we don't dismiss it, because we realize this is a way of talking. It's a particular language. We just mustn't confuse these stories with reality. That's all.